Welp, it's over. It's all over. The 5000 series of Nvidia graphics cards is pretty much discontinued, at least the 16 gigabyte version of the 5070, 5060, and any of the other cards that use it. This comes from Dexerto. Nvidia 5070 Ti GPU has been killed off due to supply shortage. Let's read the report. Nvidia has reportedly ended production of its GeForce RTX 5070 Ti, which sucks because I wanted to get one at some point, with ASUS indicating the mid-range GPU is now effectively end of life. Yep. The information was shared by ASUS with Hardware Unboxed. As ASUS said, Nvidia has created a supply shortage for the RTX 5070 Ti, leaving partners unable to source new stock. As one of Nvidia's largest add-in board partners, ASUS said it understands the card is no longer being produced, moving it to the end of life. Yeah, it's this person. They talked about the pricing, at least in the first quarter. There's a couple other reports I want to quickly look at. Everything's going up. Even fans are going up. We'll talk about that in a second. With little to no stock available, RTX 5070 Ti prices have risen sharply in multiple regions. Yeah, it's not just the US. Raising questions over whether the GPU will return to the shelves at all. Well, there's also rumors that the 6000 series won't even see any kind of news, or like it won't release until the later half of, I want to say, next year, 2027. ASUS also suggested a similar situation is developing for the GeForce RTX 5060 Ti 16GB. Production resources are reportedly being shifted toward the 8GB version instead. Yeah, so they're still manufacturing them, but just the 8GB version, not the 16GB version. That cuts its processing power in half, which actually sucks, especially for a card of that caliber, the 5000 series. I still remember back in the early 2020s when the 3090 was top tier. And then it was like, oh, nope, no more. Now it's the 4090, and now they're on the 5090. Unfortunately, the 4000 series had a bunch of problems, so I was actually looking forward to the 5000 series, but I guess I'm gonna have to skip that too, if I can ever get my hands on anything after this. Stock of the 16GB model has been declining across retailers and distributors, with prices beginning to reflect the shortage. The change is being linked to ongoing memory supply issues. According to ASUS, the wider DRAM shortages, DRAM, has affected GDDR7 graphic memory as well. Because of this, Nvidia is expected to continue prioritizing lower capacity GPUs in the short term. However long the short term lasts, that's gonna remain to be seen. Recent industry chatter has also pointed to the standard RTX 5060 becoming Nvidia's main focus in this segment. Okay, so they're just gonna focus on trying to get as many regular 5060s in buyers' hands as possible. The company also addressed rumors of an RTX 50 series Super refresh that was previously expected to launch around the Consumer Electronics Show. Alright, ASUS said that while a CES launch was originally planned, it was postponed, and there are currently no plans for a refresh. So they are going to be choking out the graphics card market due to the rising RAM costs. And the fact that people just can't source chips anymore, so that's cool. Yeah, no longer being able to buy PC parts, so you can't do anything. I guess you'll have to buy a Switch too then, right? Right, everybody? Or maybe a PS6 when that releases 3 years from now, or 4. Even though it's had, like, what, 18 exclusive games? Or an Xbox. The delay is reportedly tied to the lack of high-capacity GDDR7 memory, with some add-in board partners said to be frustrated by the sudden change. Well, blame AI manufacturers. Nvidia says they're not a gaming company anymore as AI drives record-breaking revenue. Okay. Hi, yeah, TechSpot says Samsung and SK Hynix are jacking up DRAM prices by as much as 70%. Just more news about price hiking. I don't really need to read this. Companies with advanced chip-making capabilities are currently raking in enormous profits because of AI. Unsurprisingly, two of the world's largest memory manufacturers are focused on sustaining and even inflating this unprecedented demand for as long as possible. According to Korean sources, Samsung and SK Hynix are more than willing to raise memory chip prices while the AI-driven financial bubble continues. Both companies are reportedly notifying their high-profile customers that server DRAM prices could increase by as much as 60 to 70% compared to the fourth quarter of last year. Great! Hey, who are their high-profile customers? Large tech companies. Their regular consumers are, well, will probably see an increase in cell phone prices too. Time to sign that AT&T contract for 5 years instead of 2 years. Ooh. AMD and Intel. This is off of WCCF Tech. AMD and Intel are reportedly considering to raise server CPU prices by up to 15% as hyperscaler build-out has drained out the inventory. AMD and Intel are reportedly exploring a price increase of up to 50% for server CPUs, as both companies have sold out their existing inventories for the rest of the year. Hyperscalers are looking forward to shift towards newer server CPU generations, opening up an opportunity for AMD/Intel. This, I don't know what to do. I'm just saying what I'm reading. I'm reporting what I'm reading. The AI frenzy's now managed to gobble up server CPUs. So there you go. RAM, GPUs, CPUs. According to estimate by KeyBank via Jukan, both AMD and Intel have reportedly sold out their respective server CPU inventories for this year. It is claimed that most of the demand is coming from hyperscalers who are looking to integrate the newest server CPUs into their existing rack architectures, which is why demand has seen a significant rise over the past few quarters. With that, it is claimed that both AMD and Intel are looking to raise server CPU prices by up to 15% to ensure that supply remains steady. Speaking of consumer prices, this is off of Reddit. My order has been canceled and they raised the price. This person was trying to buy a pre-built PC. And this is what happened. Hello everyone, I ordered a Vengeance A5100 as a New Year's present yesterday. When I ordered it, it was $34.99, which was on my budget. They sent me an invoice and I thought that everything was set. But today I looked through my emails and I saw that Corsair canceled my order themselves without any reason. When I tried to order the same PC again, I noticed the price was raised to $42.99. It literally went up $800. Rising costs of everything. Great. That's amazing. Okay, all right, well. Speaking of rising GPU, CPU, and RAM prices, it's off of Pirate. Power supplies, PSUs, and CPU coolers are reportedly the next PC components facing price increases of 6 to 10%. According to a distributor letter, the increases stem from rising costs of key materials, particularly metals and components essential for heat sinks and power delivery, driven by ongoing power supply pressures. Upstream suppliers have reportedly stopped accepting new orders at old prices, forcing adjustments. Okay. Everything's rising. I don't know what to do. This sucks. This really sucks. There's no way to fix this easily. Except just having the companies stop putting every single resource into AI. So, with everything that I read, here's my takeaway. Nvidia is no longer really a gaming company. They are an AI manufacturer and AI systems company. They literally said it themselves. The CEO has said it before. He's even said, like, why are people against AI? Why? I can't believe it. I don't know why. That's weird. It's such a great, amazing thing. So it makes sense that they would pull back on manufacturing their 500 series, which sucks. Their biggest thing should be making these cards affordable for people in the first place. But since they're going to be getting rid of their 16 gigabyte 5070, 5060, or 5070 Ti, whatever, that just shows that the next generation of games, or even games coming out this year that are demanding more and more from your GPU, and they expect you to have a 5060 or a 5070, that's just not feasible. Which then shows that game manufacturer or game developers have to prioritize optimizing their games. They need to prioritize optimizing their games so people with lower end graphics cards don't have to worry about getting the best and newest thing, because prices just are not feasible. No one can afford that stuff. It's not available. This all leads back to the companies going full bore into AI systems. They could have done it, but they should have done it slower if they were really thinking about the consumers. Because this just pushes, generative frames in games, and cloud gaming or cloud PCs, renting your computer in order to play the newest games coming out that demand these, graphics or your CPU or your RAM, your memory, something you're not going to own anything and you'll be happy. I love it. Great. That's pretty much all I wanted to say. Here's a meme. Devs are finally going to start optimizing their games, right? Yeah, right. The reason RAM prices went up 4 times is that a massive amount of not yet manufactured memory was bought with money that doesn't really exist yet, to be put into GPUs that haven't been made yet, to be installed in data centers that haven't been built, powered by infrastructure that may never exist, to satisfy demand that isn't actually there in order to generate profits that are mathematically impossible. So it's the shareholders that are the problem. I love publicly traded companies. Cool! This is ZeroEchoZenith signing off. Take care, everybody. I don't mean to be doom and gloom about prices, but this is very important to talk about because this is very telling of what's going to happen in the future with the next generation of GPUs coming out. That's the long and short of it. TLDR, computer parts are hitting the fan, but we already knew that. Bye, everybody!